Welcome back to another episode of the NFL Draft Bible Player Spotlight Show. I am your host, Chris Shanafelt, bringing you the names that you need to know first since 2002. Visit NFLDraftBible.com, and here is another name that you guys should know, and that is 2018 NFL Draft prospect. He's an offensive tackle out of the University of Cincinnati, and if I'm not mistaken, he's actually I know this for a fact, he's the first offensive lineman I've been able to chat with throughout this draft season, and here we are already at the end of January getting our first offensive lineman onto the show. He's Kendall Calhoun, again, offensive tackle, University of Cincinnati. Kendall, really appreciate you taking some time to join the show this evening. How's everything?
It's going great. Thanks for having me.
Hey, the pleasure is all mine. Can you believe your time as a college athlete, your time as a college student has already come and gone?
Yeah, it just went by real fast. It's just amazing. Loved it.
So your collegiate career, you did not start, you did not stay all 4 years at the University of Cincinnati. You actually took the junior college route. You began at Lackawanna Community College, and then from there you went to the University of Cincinnati. Just talk about your journey, what you've gone through to get to where you're at now, and how ultimately you did land at the University of Cincinnati to be a part of the Bearcats.
Well, actually, I started off at Division II level at Kentucky State University, where I redshirted my freshman year, and I played the season. Throughout that season, I started every game, and I just decided myself I felt like I should go against better competition. So I left the scholarship at Kentucky State University. I walked on Lackawanna Junior College, spring of 2015, earned plenty of Division I scholarships, earned a scholarship to play there. And then I just went through, had an undefeated season at Lackawanna, conference championships, all conference, offensive lineman. And I just had plenty of offers, and Coach J.B. Grimes from University of Cincinnati, he gave me an offer and all of that. And I went there in the spring of 2016. And originally, to get to Cincinnati, it was just it was really surreal for me because less than 2 years ago, I was playing Division II football and not really knowing what the future held. And it was just a blessing, really. It's a real blessing. But, I went to Cincinnati. Things didn't really pan out for me too well the first year. I didn't play as much as I wanted to. But, I grinded real hard. At off season, I came out and had a great senior year. So just had to grind through those different places just to get to where I'm at.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, and I did not know that. I know you're from Kentucky. I did not know your collegiate career began at Kentucky State, a Division II program. And that's actually a Division II program that, if I'm not mistaken, they haven't seen a lot of success in quite a while. I do remember a couple years back I talked to one of the defensive backs coming out of Kentucky State, Eric Rawls, who I thought, and he did end up going pro. He had a short stint with the Minnesota Vikings, but unfortunately, throughout the physical process, I believe he had it was some type of serious heart.
Yeah.
Right, heart. I wasn't sure if it was heart or something with the head, but yeah, heart. Something with his heart, and unfortunately that had to end his career, which is really a shame because he was a hell of a player, a hell of an athlete, coming from a Division II program like Kentucky State, where not every year we see prospects come out of, and he had a great pro day, and again made it to the pro ranks with the Minnesota Vikings, but a career ended way too short before it even got started really in the NFL. But I did not know that your collegiate career started at Kentucky State. That's very interesting. Talk about the jump from D2 to then playing a big-time Division I at Cincinnati. Exactly how much of a difference were you able to tell in the talent level from Division II to Division I?
Well, it was a complete turnaround, 180, if you will. It was just the speed of the game really changed so much faster. Your steps had to be so much better. Your angles had to be more precise. You had to recognize and read defenses so much faster. But I adapted to it pretty well because, I love studying football. So I just took that challenge on and challenged myself to be able to make that transition as smoothly as possible.
Absolutely, especially playing the offensive line. I mean, they say offensive and defensive line, and then cornerback. Those are like the three toughest positions to kind of make the transition to the next level. You being from Division II going to Division I, I'm sure you kind of seen a little bit of that now. You're looking forward to seeing even more of a jump going from D1 college football just in general to the NFL, where everybody is on a payroll. It's no longer you're a student and you're a college athlete. You're now it's now your full-time job. I mean, I'm sure you're really looking forward to that. Why do you think it is, one of the tougher positions to make the transition from the college level to the pros? Why do you think offensive and defensive line, it's so much tougher or so much harder to make that transition than other positions?
Well, honestly, I think it really comes down to coaching because they're big players at Division II level. There's good athletes at that level too, but they aren't as coached or well developed as Division two level players. Like I played against like the guys from Michigan and UCF and schools like that. They just more developed than the Division II guys, and I guess it's not necessarily their fault, but they just aren't as developed and aren't used to that speed of the game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And again, that jump from the college level to the pro will be even bigger for you than the jump you already experienced from Division II to Division I. And I know you're already expecting that. You already know that. I know I'm not telling you anything that you don't know. When did this kind of all become more clear to you, though, Kendall, that you had a legit shot at? I'm sure it was already kind of a dream playing Division I football. When did it become more clear to you that you had a legit shot furthering your football career and making it your full-time job playing at the professional level?
Well, honestly, coming out of high school, I really wanted to just play Division I football. I just dreamed of that my whole time. I just wanted just Division I football. Like I would have been satisfied with that. And then as I started playing football, I was like, well, let's see how far I can take it. So I just started working hard, and the jump, Division I to NFL, I'm ready for it. And I really felt like I realized that I could be an NFL player as I started playing my senior year. As I was played against Michigan, the high level talent, the outstanding defense that they have, and handle my own easily with these guys. And let's see who else I can go against. So I just use that as a stepping stone just to elevate my playing style, experience, all of that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And now we're going to be playing some of your highlights here on the screen.
Okay.
If I could just get this to... All right, anyways, well, you did have an opportunity, and we will get your highlights played in just a second, Kendall. You did have an opportunity, though, just a few weeks ago to participate in one of the college football all-star games. This past weekend we had the Senior Bowl. You had the opportunity to participate in the Tropical Bowl to play against some of the top talent coming out in this year's 2018 NFL Draft. What was that experience like for you, and what did you ultimately take away from that?
It was a great experience for me. I got a chance to meet with some scouts, meet with some different players from different teams I haven't played against or seen before. And I really enjoyed playing against a different level of competition, like from guys from Pennsylvania and to guys from Oregon and UCLA. And it's really cool. Enjoyed it. It's a great experience.
And of course, you were coached by some former NFL coaches in that event. What about NFL scouts, though? I know there was a bunch in attendance. Were you able to meet with any? You don't really need to go in depth as to what was said or who you met with, but what were those meetings like? And did you walk away feeling pretty good about your chances getting? And again, we still have a lot to go. We're still very early on in this NFL draft process. Anything can happen. But walking away from that Tropical Bowl event, I mean, did you walk away pretty satisfied with what you came away with?
Yeah, I left really satisfied. The meetings, they just wanted to get to know me. A lot of scouts didn't know me or didn't have a chance to see Cincinnati, watch us play sometimes. So they just wanted to get to know me, know where I came from, know what I'm about, see if I have a good head on my shoulders and things like that. So.
What do you feel is your biggest strength as an offensive lineman? I mean, do you prefer run blocking? Do you prefer pass blocking? I mean, is there a preference? I mean, you tell us.
I really would do whatever, but I feel like I'm a pass blocking specialist just because of the athleticism, the long arms. I can read the defense really well. So.
And I should have this. I mean, I don't think you could see the screen, Kendall, but we got a picture of you, in action in practice at Cincinnati right now on the screen. We got Kendall Calhoun, offensive tackle, Cincinnati, but we don't have your height and weight listed, and that's a big mistake by me. I'll go ahead and edit that right now. Am I hearing about 6'5", 305?
I'm actually about 6'7", about 300, around there. 6'6.5", 6'7".
So you certainly have the size that teams are looking for at the next level. I mean, that's certainly one thing that's going to stand out. When they turn on the tape, though, Kendall, I mean, what are going to be a few things that they see right away when watching your game?
Speed, me coming out of my stance, the angles I take. They're going to see a smart football player. They're going to see a NFL-ready player.
And, before we started this interview, Kendall, you and I chatted, and I told you I've been connected with your agent, Alex, for quite a bit. Talk about that whole process for you. What was the whole agent process like for you? I mean, did you have a whole bunch of agents, ringing your phone, calling your phone as soon as your season was over? And how did you ultimately decide with Alex and his gang?
Actually, a lot of people thought that I was a junior up until my senior year because I originally was going to try to take a medical red shirt last season, but that didn't work out for me. So I played throughout my senior year, and after the season, I just had a lot of guys just calling me agents, trying to get to know me, see if they can sign me with their agency. But I went with Alex because he was more of a guy that he wanted to look out for me through my football career, but beyond that. So I really trusted him. We talked pretty often. And I decided he was the agent for me.
Yeah, he does a great job. I've been connected with him for a couple of years now. I was able to meet him in Indianapolis last year at the NFL Combine. And again, I think you're with a great NFL agent in Alex. And again, really looking forward to seeing where this process takes you and him as well. I was looking at some of your tape, Kendall, and earlier in the year you were able to play against SMU. They have a defensive end that is highly touted in Justin Lawler. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he played more so on the opposite side of you most of the game, but I do believe I've seen some reps, you versus him. Off the top of your head, do you remember that matchup? I mean, did you come away pretty impressed with him? What was that matchup like for you?
Actually, he played on my side most of the game. He's more of a defensive end, and it was a really good matchup. It was like two heavyweights going into it, Godzilla and King Kong, so we were just going rounds after rounds, but he's a defensive end. I'm sure he'll definitely get a great shot at the NFL. But yeah, we had a really good matchup. We both gave each other our props after the game, so.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That was a lot of fun. And, speaking of him, a very talented player, I had the pleasure of watching him a couple weeks ago at the East-West Shrine game down in St. Petersburg, Florida. What about best player overall that you've been able to play at? I mean, this could be, it might not be likely, but this could be back in your Division II days at Kentucky State. It could be a player from your junior college days at Lackawanna College. It could just be from, the opponents that you played this past season at the University of Cincinnati. Who do you think is the best player that you've gone up against throughout your collegiate career?
The best player I've gone against from my collegiate career would have to be Rashawn Gary, University of Michigan. He's a really fast, really strong, really athletic guy. But yeah, he's good at what he does.
Yeah, to say the least. And I'm sure you guys will have a couple more matchups in the NFL in a couple of years as well. Again, we're chatting with 2018 NFL Draft prospect Kendall Calhoun, offensive tackle out of the University of Cincinnati, made a couple of pit stops at the Division II level, Kentucky State, and then at the JUCO level at Lackawanna Community College as well. And when you hear that, Kendall, I mean, 2018 NFL draft prospect, does it still kind of feel surreal to you?
Yeah, it just is really surreal because I just remember it's like the other day going to Kentucky State, walking to practice, having only a couple people in the stands, and then going out and playing Michigan, having 100,000, playing on TV. It's really surreal, but I'm blessed for the opportunity that I have.
And you know what? I don't want to talk down because I'm first off, I'm a huge fan of small school college football. I mean, that's my go-to is FCS, D1 AA, Division two football. You go on. I could go on and on about it, but I'm curious because a lot of people we got to see a deep look into how junior college athletes are treated and how things are for them, at least with the junior college football with that Netflix series, Last Chance U, over the past couple of years. Again, of course, that was at one of the top junior colleges in the nation. Lackawanna Community College has also flushed out some really good talent as well over the years. I'm curious, was the experience, the way you were treated as a football player, as an athlete, was the experience better at the JUCO level than it was at the Division two level at Kentucky State?
Actually, Kentucky State was a little bit better because I mean, in junior college, it was more like the only thing you really get is a helmet and shoulder pads and your game jersey. Because I mean the practice jersey, but that's just about it. So the rest of everything, your cleats, your gloves, your socks, your girdles, your pads, all that is basically you. So you just have to really love football because JUCO can make it break you. Like, it's not for the faint-hearted at all.
Yeah, and again, Last Chance U, they were at East Mississippi, and again, that's a team that's won many junior college national championships. Now, I'd like to see them go to a community college that hasn't had much success, and I'm sure it's even harsher there. So, I was just curious about that. I'm glad to hear that the Division two level, Kentucky State treated you well, and not to put any program down. I was just really curious about that and how players were treated at kind of both levels, Division two and JUCO. Is there any NFL players, current or former, Kendall, that you kind of like and like to watch and take bits and pieces of their game and kind of add it onto your own?
Yes, Joe Staley from the San Francisco 49ers. I've been a fan of Joe Staley since I was in high school. That's really a reason why I like to wear 74, just from seeing him play, his athleticism, he pulls outside, pass protection, all that I just love. He's a great athlete, and he's a long athletic guy, just like me, so
Yeah,
I relate to him a lot.
one of the best offensive linemen in the nation, in the NFL. So can't go wrong with Joe Staley. And Kendall, I got to ask you, with your size, and I know a lot of football players love the game of basketball and think go pro in basketball. Are you a basketball player? I mean, 6'7", 300 pounds. I mean, how are you on the court?
I never really played basketball. Really, growing up, I was really big on soccer. So I guess that's athleticism coming from my mom. She's an All-American sprinter at the University of Kentucky. So I just always been an athlete. Not necessarily basketball. I played a couple of years, but it's more soccer, baseball, stuff like that.
Okay.
Try.
All right. Nice. That's not the answer I certainly expected, but that's all. That's good to know. Final question for you, Kendall. Then we'll let you go. Really do appreciate you taking some time this evening. And that is, let's say we have all 32 NFL general managers. They're tuned into this very interview. Why should they want the offensive tackle out of Cincinnati, Kendall Calhoun, a part of their organization?
They will find an offensive lineman that can help them win games. They will put his body on the line to help them win and to also represent their program outside of football.
Hey, can't get any better than that. And you know what? I lied to you, Kendall. Here's my final question. Got to get a prediction. New England Patriots, Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl 52. Who you got?
I got the Patriots. I believe Tom Brady will find any way to win. I think he'll find a way through the Eagles defense. Not to take anything away from the Eagles defense. They've been playing well these last few games, but I feel New England. So.
All right, and yeah, I mean, you don't want to count New England out. We've seen what happened last year in the Super Bowl against Atlanta coming back from 28-3 at halftime, I believe it was, and then last week AFC Championship game against Jacksonville. Not too many people expected them to come back from that. They did exactly that, come back and win. So I think I'm with you. My mind or my head is telling me to go New England. My heart's hoping Philadelphia could pull an upset, but as long as we get a good game, that's all I'm wishing for. That's all I'm hoping for. Kendall, really appreciate you taking some time this evening. Thank you again for joining us, and we're certainly wishing you all the best. Any final words before we let you go?
No, I just want to say thank you for interviewing me, and we'll see what happens here in a couple months.